Audio video clear na ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, miss.
Yes. I'm starting with my presentation. Is my presentation visible, ma'am?
No, miss. No.
Okay. Can you see my slide? First slide, financial management.
Still no.
Ma'am, now can you see my slide?
Yes.
Financial management. Okay.
Yes, already.
Okay, ma'am. So good morning. Good morning, all. We are starting with the presentation on financial management. Financial management is a very important topic in today's world. Why? Because finance is the lifeblood of the business. For any business, finance is very, very necessary for the survival of the business. And finance, what it includes, it not only includes the money, but it includes investments and other financial instruments also. So, what is the finance? How it helps in running the business, smooth functioning of the business, that we will discuss in today's presentation. So finance, it is a system of creating, circulating and managing the money. So financial management, the topic for today, financial management, it involves budgeting, it involves planning, it involves forecasting, supervising, and all the functions that is required for the smooth functioning of the business, and to ensure that the business does not suffer losses because of the hindrances caused by the scarcity of finance. So we want to maximize our profit by financial planning, by planning properly, by budgeting, by managing, by forecasting, and by supervising. And that is the role of financial management in the business. The financial management, there are basically two objectives of the financial management. Why we want to manage finance? Because of mainly two objectives. Here in today's presentation, we are focusing on corporate finance. So every company wants to engage in financial management because of the two objectives. One is profit maximization and other is wealth maximization. Profit maximization is a short-term goal of any business, and wealth maximization, it is the long-term vision of any business. So comparing both the objectives, profit maximization includes like declaring of dividend, to ensure that the stakeholders, the investors, they get the regular income in the business. That is profit maximization, which is the objective of a short-term objective of financial management, that shareholders get that minimum return on their investment, they get regular dividend income on their investment. But the other long term vision is wealth maximization, which is the more comprehensive objectives of financial management, of managing finance. Wealth maximization, it includes to it aims to uh, increase the wealth of the shareholder. It aims to enhance the wealth of the shareholder. The vision is to maximize the prices of the shares. The company do so well that its reputation in the market is increased, and the prices of the shares, they keep on increasing continuously. That is the long term vision of the financial management. So out of these two objectives, both are important. Profit maximization is also important, and wealth maximization, that is also important. Profit maximization is short term objective, and wealth maximization, that is considered to be a more comprehensive objective, that is the long term vision of any business. So after the objectives of financial management, like I just shared in the previous slide, that wealth maximization is more important than the profit maximization. Now we'll discuss in this slide the process of value creation. How the company, or how the corporate business house, that is involved in the process of value creation, that is involved in the process of enhancing the firm's value. So for that, economic conditions is important, political and social environment, market structure, and firm's competitive position. They are this is the business environment in which any business works. Economic condition, how it helps in the process of value creation. Economic condition, if there is a boom in the economy, in the boom conditions, the business that it gives us push to the business. In case of, if the economic condition is of the booms, if there is a boom situation in the economy, the business will flourish and sales will increase. And if political and social environment, that is favorable political and social environment, in that case also, if there is any political and social environment which is favorable to the business, the sales will enhance. Market structure is also very important. Again, if there is a monopoly in the market, your firm is the sole firm who is operating for that particular business in the market. In industry, your firm is the sole firm, your sales will automatically increase. And firm's competitive position, like your USP, what edge you have over your competitors, all these are important for increasing the for deciding this amount of sales, amount of growth of the business. If these are favorable, then sales will increase, which will ultimately result in increase in EBIT, earnings before interest and tax. If EBIT will be higher, then earnings after tax will also be higher, and which will ultimately result in increase in earning per share. So this is the process of value creation. Earnings will increase, reputation of the company will increase in the market, and ultimately, if the reputation of the company will increase, so ultimately shares value will also go high. So this is the process of value creation. Our firm that operates in the business environment, in that business environment, economic condition, political condition, social environment, market structure, and firm's competitive position, they all impact the sales of the company. And if sales are higher, then EBIT, EAT, and EPS all are higher. So this is the process of value creation. After that, now what is the role of, we are studying the finance subject. So in future, we'll be becoming financial managers. We'll be engaged in the role of financial manager. What is the role of financial manager in the process of value creation? So what financial manager does, he has a very, very important role to play to enhance the value of the firm. What financial manager does, actually, he is an intermediary between the financial markets and financial operations. The firm raises money from the investors in the financial market. There are shareholders, investors in the financial market. So financial manager, he raises funds from the financial market through shares and debentures, issue shares of the company, and capital is raised. And that capital is invested in the firms to carry out the firm's operations. That a financial manager, it helps company to to raise finance, to raise the capital, and that capital is used for firm's operation, to carry out the firm's operation smoothly. And from firm's operation, the company generates the cash. Company generates cash from firm's operation, and that cash is further, some cash is given to the government in form of taxes. Some of the portion of that cash is reinvested in the business, like shown in 4A, that some cash is reinvested in the same business for the growth of that business, and some proportion of cash that is distributed as dividend and interest in the financial market. So this is a complete cycle. What financial manager does, he helps company to raise the capital from the market. That capital is invested in the firm to smoothly run out its operations. And when company runs its operations and generates cash, that cash, some of it is given to the government in form of taxes, and the sum is reinvested in the business, and the remaining portion is given as dividend and interest to the stakeholders in the financial market, who have trusted the company, who have given the capital to the company. That portion in form of dividend and interest is given back in the financial market. So what are the qualities of financial manager which he must carry so that he may give proper advice to the company? He must have the business knowledge, the industry in which company is dealing, firm is dealing. He must have, financial manager must have the proper knowledge of that business. He must be that efficient in planning, that he can plan effectively cost planning, evaluation, risk management he must be knowing, and other standards for compliance, like legal compliances are there in the company. So he must be able to know all the laws for legal compliances. And effective, he should be effective in the communication, because communication with all the stakeholders is very necessary. Performance management he must know. He should be good in forecasting, planning, and budgeting, and he obviously he must be knowing the accounts and finance aspect of the business. And after that, very, very important topic, fund management science. What is the finance function in the organization? So basically, total finance function can be divided into four parts. First is investment decision. Second is financing decision, liquidity decision, and dividend decision. These are the four major decisions which any finance manager he has to take in the firm or company. So these are the main four decisions which are the uh, core component of the financial management. What are these four decisions? First is investment decision. Investment investment in long term asset or in short term assets. So first is investment decision. Investment is like how much, there are two alternatives. If I want to invest in one alternative, I will be evaluating both the alternatives, and then I'll be selecting the one alternative. I have two projects in my hand. Which project should I select for my investment? I have 5 crores of rupees. Yeah, 5 crores dollars I have. I want to invest it in project A or in project B. So that investment decision I'll have to take. for that investment decision, what are the factors that will affect my decision? That are the objectives of my investment, returns that I expect from the investment, frequency of return. I expect the returns immediately, or I expect higher returns after a particular time. And other factor is risk associated with the investment, maturity period, tax benefits. They are and the period in the economy, like we are having the boom period or the depression or recession. So these are the factors, these all are the factors which are necessary to be considered for the investment decisions. We have capital budgeting techniques with us, which help decide uh, about in which project we must invest our money. So, capital budgeting techniques are like payback period. Payback period is in how much time I'll get back my money. Average rate of return, net present value, internal rate of return, modified internal rate of return, and profitability index. These all are the methods. Any of these method we can use to judge which project I should invest my money. They are basically divided into traditional and modern techniques. And what is the basic difference between traditional and modern techniques? The basic difference is that in traditional technique, time value of money is not considered. Inflation is not considered, but in modern technique, we keep discounting in my mind. We keep time value of money in my mind. So 10%, 15%, whatever discounting factor is suitable in the given economic condition, that we may choose, and accordingly we may select our investment project, in which project should I invest. And the strategy should be that we must invest not with the short term goal. We must invest with the with the objective of sustainable growth. Now, what is sustainable growth? Sustainable growth is I'm not focusing on that earning profit in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years is my objective. My objective is market expansion. Long term vision is to grow my business substantially and make it a stalwart. Like diversion should be my objective. Financial prudence, innovation and R&D, customer centric approach, that should be my objective. So these are the strategies for achieving the sustainable growth. This was the first concept. I earlier told you that financial management, it has four important aspects. One was investment decision. In investment decision, I have decided that I want to invest in a particular project. Out of the various alternatives, I have selected the one particular project in which I want to invest. And this second important decision which a financial manager has to take is financing decision. In financing decision, what we have to decide is, in financing decision, I decide whether I should use debt or equity. I should be choosing from debt or equity. Debt is the the market. Equity, it means my own money. And the sources of equity capital are equity shares. I can issue equity shares in the market, or I can issue preference shares in the market, or I can use my own previous savings, that is retained earnings. What are retained earnings? Retained earnings are my own savings, which I have kept for the which I have kept in reserve, that I'll use whenever I'll be in the need of money. So these are the sources of owner's capital that I can use. Just And am I audible now?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. And we can likewise, we have debt, borrowed capital also. For borrowed capital, debentures and term loans. These are the sources of that borrowed capital. Debentures, we can issue debentures in the market, and we can also borrow from the banks. We can borrow the term loans from the bank from the market. It can be short-term borrowings or it can be long-term borrowings. So that is the important aspect of financing decision, that I want to use my own capital. The company want to use its own capital, or it can borrow from the market. If it borrows from the market, it gets the benefit of trading on equity also. So what are the factors which affect the financing decision? Firstly, it is the cost. Cost of equity is much higher than the cost of debt, especially in the initial stages of the company. So we may consider cost. If we are ready to pay high cost, then we must issue equity, or we may go for debentures. If the cost aspect we are considering, we want to incur less cost. Second is risk associated with the debentures. We want to, will be continuing continuously paying them the interest. We can't skip paying interest, but in case of dividend, it is not like that. In case we are having profits, we may pay them, or in if we are not having profit, we may not pay to equity shareholders. And flotation cost, generally in case of equity, the flotation cost is higher than the debentures cost. Next is level of fixed operating cost, that is also to be considered. Control consideration, if we want to keep control with ourselves, we should not issue further equity capital. We should issue the debentures capital, we should issue the debt capital. If we want to dilute the control, we can issue equity also. And what is the state of capital market? Where the investors are ready to invest, are they ready to invest in the equity, or they are ready to invest in the debt market? That is also important factor for to be considered while making the financing decisions. And next is leverages. What are the leverages in the business, and how can we take the benefit of these leverages? So, one is our financial leverage, second is operating leverage, third is our combined leverage. There are three types of leverages, and we can take benefits of these three types of leverages in our financial market. What is financial leverage? Financial leverage is that if we use more and more debt component in our capital structure rather than our equity component, if we use debt component, so higher the debt, higher will be the financial leverage. We'll get the leverage because on debt we pay the interest income, and interest is a tax deductible expense. And with that, we will take the advantage of financial leverage, and using more and more debt in our capital structure will increase the value of the shares, will increase the earning per share for our shareholders. This is financial leverage, which says that to a particular level, more and more debt component, more and more debt component will help our company to increase EPS, earning per share, for our shareholders. Second is our operating leverage. Operating leverage, it is like it says that this leverage we can take help of with the expense of fixed expenses. It is a leverage created with the help of fixed expenses in the capital structure. Higher the fixed expenses, higher is the operating leverage. In fixed expenses, what happens that if I am paying a particular amount, so any quantity of production I may produce with these expenses only, because these are the fixed expenses, they will not increase with the level of production. So fixed expenses, I can take the benefit of economy of scale with these fixed expenses. I can take the advantage of operating leverage with the help of these fixed expenses. What are the pros and cons of these both expenses? Higher operating leverage. profit increase even with the small change in sales if I am taking advantage of this operating leverage. And for financial leverage, earning per share of shareholder will increase significantly if I am taking advantage of this financial leverage. And combined leverage, it is the impact of both, taking benefit of both the financial as well as the operating leverage. So combined leverage, in this, I take advantages of both, using the debt component in the capital structure, also the using the incurring the more fixed expenses in the capital in the business of the company. These were the two decisions which we have discussed. One was the investing decision, where we have discussed that how to choose between different alternatives. If I have to evaluate five projects and selecting one of them, so it will come under investing decisions, like I am deciding in which project should I invest. That was investing decision. With the help of the capital budgeting techniques, we can choose among the various alternatives. And if I have selected one particular alternative, I have selected one particular project, now from where the money will come to be invested in that project, that is there in financial decisions, whether I'll be using my own resources or I'll be borrowing from the market. That was there in financial decision, from where the money will come. That was the main main thing to be considered in that financial decisions, from where the money will come to finance in my project. And the third decisions which a financial manager has to take is dividend decisions. Dividend decisions, like if the company is earning money, shareholders also expect the returns. Shareholders also expect that if company is earning, I will also be earning on my investment in the company. Suppose I have purchased shares of the Reliance company. What is my expectation there? My expectation is that I will get regular returns on my investment. That is, I'll get, apart from the increase in value of share, I'll get regular return on my investment. That dividend decision, that financial manager has to take, like whether to retain money if I have earned the profit, whether to distribute it all to the shareholders, distribute entire profit to the shareholders, or whether to keep the entire money with myself and distribute no money to the shareholder, or some money should I retain and some money I should distribute to the shareholders. These are the things which a financial manager has to decide. So how a financial manager decide how much to pay to the shareholder? There are different approaches. Like there are, if the company is in growth stage, company requires more funds with the company, then it may retain the amount and distribute less dividend. Whereas if company does not require the profit for its growth and expansion, that it may distribute the amount to the shareholders as dividend. And the other factor to be considered is that what is the market rate of return and what is the internal rate of return which company can earn for the shareholders. Like if market rate of return is 10%, from investing in the open market, shareholder can earn 10%, and company's rate of return, company's internal rate of return is 12%. Company is earning 12% for its shareholder, then company should not distribute the amount as dividend. Why? Because company is earning 12% for its shareholders, whereas by investing in market, shareholder gets the return of 10%. So whichever, what is the benefit to the shareholder if the company retains the funds and give 2% extra to the shareholders? Whereas we may take the different case also, like a market return is 10% and company is earning 8% for the shareholder. What will be there in that case? If market rate of return is 10% and company is earning 8% for the shareholders, then in that case, the company will distribute the dividend. Company will not retain the money with it. So shareholders will invest in the open market and will gain higher returns. So what are the factors to be considered while deciding the dividend decisions? It is the amount of earnings, it is the stability of earnings, stability of dividend, growth opportunities with the company, the cash flow position of the company, taxation policy, and stock market reactions. These are the factors which should be considered while deciding whether to pay the dividend or to retain the dividend. Am I clear? Next is fourth type of decision is liquidity decisions. Liquidity decisions like how much company should retain, how much liquid cash company should retain with it. That is liquidity decision. That is basically the working capital amount which the company requires for the smooth functioning of its operations. That is there in liquidity decisions. In liquidity decisions, company decides how much to keep in working capital, how much liquid funds company should keep with it, and how much it should invest in fixed assets. It is very important to decide the appropriate amount of working capital, appropriate amount of liquid funds which company should keep with it. Why? Because if uh, company keeps with it more funds that than required in the liquid form, what will happen? Company keeps with it the more funds than required. Then in that case, the funds will be unnecessarily blocked in the liquid form, and company loses the interest, or company loses the revenue which it can generate from investing the funds elsewhere in the fixed form. And if we keep less working capital than required with the company, then what will happen? The smooth operations will not be there for the company. Company will not be able to carry out its operations smoothly. So it is very important to decide the appropriate amount of working capital that company requires to keep with it. So liquidity, it is ensuring current assets are sufficiently liquid to minimize the risk of insolvency. We must keep the appropriate amount of working capital with us so that business functions should not hamper because of scarcity of funds. And profitability, if we invest less in liquid assets in order to maximize return, we may invest it somewhere in the fixed form and generate the return. So uh, what are the positive for keeping the working capital with us? Better liquidity is there in the company. So with that better liquidity, company is always in a confidence that we have the cash whenever we require the funds. I have the funds, I can manage from the operations from my funds. So operational efficiency also increase because of scarcity of funds. The operations of the companies is not impacted adversely, and ultimately the profit is increased. So what are the factors affecting the working capital? Like what is the nature of your business? How much funds you require depends upon the nature of your business. Seasonal factors, credit availability, level of the competition in the market, scale of the operations, technology and production cycle, operational efficiency and inflation, availability of raw material in the market, growth prospects, credit allowed by the creditor, and business cycle fluctuations. These all the factors which are to be considered while deciding the uh, working capital in the market. Now the important aspect is operating cycle. Operating cycle is very much important for deciding the amount of working capital that the company requires. What operating capital means that operating cycle means that operating cycle means that when we initially purchase raw material from the creditor, I purchase the raw material on credit. Purchase the raw material on credit, then I put that raw material in the manufacturing process. To that stage, when I put raw material in the manufacturing process, but goods are not yet manufactured, that stage is called work in process. From raw material stage, I move to work in progress stage. Then, when the goods are manufactured, then I move to finished goods stage. From raw material stage to work in progress stage, where goods are still in the stage of manufacturing, and then to finished goods stage. After finished goods stage, there are receivables. There are receivables like when finished goods are sold to customers, ultimately to customers. So customers sometimes they pay immediate cash for the goods they purchase, and sometimes they don't pay immediately for the goods they purchase. They give us bills of exchange. They take credit from us that they'll be paying after 2 months or 3 months. We allow them 2 or 3 months credit for the goods they purchase from us, and ultimately after 2 3 months the credit period we have allowed to them, they pay us money. Then cash is generated, and when the cash is generated, we pay that cash to we pay that cash to creditor from whom we purchased the raw material on credit, and then some amount we pay to creditor from whom we purchased the raw material, and the balance amount we invest again in that process of operating cycle. So that is the important aspect of operating cycle. Operating cycle, like if our cycle is quite lengthy, so we may be requiring higher amount of working capital. If our operating cycle is of smaller period, then we require less amount of working capital. So operating cycle is this cycle from the purchase of raw material. It purchase from the stage of purchasing of raw material and continues. It carries on till we generate the cash from the sale of raw material, and we pay back our money to the creditor, and it is a continuous cycle. So it goes like this only. Like this is a continuous business operation: purchase of raw material, putting that raw material into work in progress. After work in progress, the amount will go to finished the this work in progress will go to finished goods. Then we'll sell the money, we'll generate the cash. Then again that operating cycle keeps on going like this. And out of that cash generated, some portion we pay to our creditors. That is the first priority. We pay government their taxes, we pay interest payments, we interest payment to the debenture holders, we make interest payments to the banks from whom we have taken the term loans, and to the shareholders we pay the dividend, and to the employees of the company we pay the salaries and wages, and we incur all other expenses out of that cash generated. Am I clear? Now, what are the ethics in financial management? Ethics in financial management, first is that addressing the conflict of interest and be transparent is the very much important aspect of financial management. There should be transparency wherever the funds are involved. If will not be transparent, the functions will not be running smoothly in the firm. Fraud prevention mechanism, we should implement the internal controls in such a way so that the work of one person is supervised by the work of another person, and a fraud prevention is there. Frauds are minimized. I know if I am doing something wrong, at the next stage, whoever person is supervising me, he will detect my fraud and will report it to the management. So fraud prevention mechanism should be very much in this strengthened form in the organization. Then everything will be transparent, and ethical training program should also be given to the employees to prevent the fraud in the organization. And corporate governance to ensure the accountability, to ensure the responsibility is very necessary. Like a single person or group of person that should be responsible for carrying on the operation of the finance operations of the business. And what are the future trends in financial management? Like earlier, we used to do it manually, like we used to calculate manually capital budgeting techniques. We used to apply the time value of money, discounting rate in time value of money as per our perception. But now AI techniques are available. There are many mobile apps which are available, which will calculate for us that. Fintech revolution is there, so mobile apps, they automatically apply all the techniques and tell us that this project is better than this project, and in which term project A is better than project B, they tell us. So fintech revolution is there. Because of that fintech revolution, our human work is reduced to a great extent, and accuracy is also increased. There are many mobile apps, many AI techniques which do this work for us, like how which project is better, how much we should raise from equity, and how much we should raise from our debt, and how much dividend we should declare, how much working capital is required. All these decisions, those AI apps, they create for us. But the only thing is that humans, the finance manager, he has to keep a check on that AI apps. He has to keep a check on that AI apps, that decisions they are giving are correct, and it suits our business organization. It suits the requirements of the organization. And sustainability reporting. Secondly, the corporates, they must keep focusing on sustainable business growth. Like sustainable business growth, long term vision should be there, that we should grow the business, but at the same time we should not we should do the green business. Like we should not affect our environment. Corporate social responsibility should be there. What is corporate social responsibility? That the company, that is a system of the society, the company is taking so much from the society, and it is the duty of the company to pay back to the society in the form of better quality of the products, in form of reasonable prices, in form of keeping the environment green, and focusing on the problems which the society is facing, and business being the part of that society, solving the problems of the society. So sustainable reporting should be there. And integrated financial strategies is also important. Integrated financial strategies should be aligned with the overall objective of the organization. Like the finance, if the objective of the business is profit making, then uh, business will do according to that, financial planning will be done according to that. But if the objective is rather than purely increasing the profits of the business, if my business vision is to serve the society, then if I earn a little less profit, then also it's okay. I am earning a lesser profit, then also it's okay, but my strategy should be to serve the society. So that are the future trends in the financial management. So that was all from my side, and any questions from your side are most welcome.
Thank you for your presentation, Miss. We have a question from participant already right in the Zoom chat. Hello.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, for our first question, how do you explain the key difference between capital budgeting methods such as net present value and internal rate of return and how they impact decision making in financial management? Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, yes. They both are actually the modern technique of the business, net present value method and internal rate of return. In net present value method, we take the what is the net present inflow and net present outflow. Outflow like how much investment I need for the business and how much investment, how much returns I am getting on that investment. So the difference between cash outflow and cash inflow, they both are the modern methods, so they both consider the uh, discounting factors in their mind, and they both are there to judge the what we say the investment decisions. Like you can employ net present value method and internal rate of method both to judge the uh, investment decision, evaluate the investment decision. In IRR calculations of IRR method that calculates the rate of return at which the investment comes at the break even, that is the main difference, and net present value that tells us the difference between the outflows and inflows.
Thank you. Then the last question, how do financial ratio like the current ratio and quick ratio provide insight into a company financial health and what are the
Can you write the
limitations?
question in the chat box, ma'am?
Oh yeah, okay. Just a minute. Already, miss.
Okay, one question was how do the financial ratio like current ratio and quick ratio provide insights into a company's financial health, and what are their limitations in assessing liquidity? Is current ratio and quick ratios, they both are the very important ratio in judging the liquidity of the company. Current ratio like the ratio between the current assets and current liabilities of the company, and current our current ratio should be ideal current ratio should be 2 is to 1. That means that company should have double the amount of current liabilities as their current assets, and it ensures that the proper liquidity in the company is maintained. And if we exclude the stock and prepaid expenses from the current assets, current we get the liquid assets and or quick assets. And quick ratio is the ratio between current quick assets and current liabilities. It should be 1 is to 1. If we exclude stock, because why we exclude stock, because we have the assumption that it takes time to sell off the stock. It is not on immediate basis, like whenever I require money my entire stock will be sold. It is the assumption. So quick ratio, quick assets and ratio between quick assets and current liabilities, our current liabilities should be equal to quick assets, so that my whenever required to pay off current liabilities, my quick asset should be sufficient to pay off my current liabilities. And another important ratio is absolute liquid ratio. In absolute liquid ratio, we only take cash, bank balance, and marketable security. They are also, it should be 0.5 is to 1. Absolute liquid ratio, like absolute liquid assets should be half the amount of current liabilities. Current liabilities, half current liabilities, immediate cash should be available with us to pay off the current liabilities, at least half of the current liabilities.
Yeah. Thank you for answering. I think it's very clear answer from Professor. Yeah. Before I push this even for All participants, please open your camera. I will take a picture on the corner screen. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for your invitation. Finally, we come to the end of visiting lecture today. We would like to thank you for the opportunity, Aurora, for the wonderful information and sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for all participants. At least we have the collaboration in the future with Chandigarh Group of Colleges, Punjab, India. Visiting lecture for today and here. We appreciate you. Thank you and have a nice day.